Welcome everybody once again back to another episode of Traffic Jam. We haven't done one in a while. This episode is brought to you by Block University and Traffic Jam Comedy Series. And on today's episode, we have the one and only Mr. Dr. Dre. How you doing, sir? So we have one of the, I don't want to say young, but I'm gonna say young um, actors. He's been in more things than I can count. He's had more co-stars than I can name. The one and only Dennis L.A. White.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? How are you?
What's happening, Dennis?
Good, I'm good.
All right, so today, first of all, I want a disclaimer. This topic was not my idea, so don't come for me in the comments. Um, but everybody's talking about it. Everybody's reading about it. This Diddy trial or Diddy verdict or this whole Diddy situation. How do you guys feel about the outcome of the verdict with the 5 counts?
Well, I'll go first. I'm really conflicted about the situation. I do believe that Diddy was incorrectly charged with the RICO case. I think it was a bad case, and I would have been surprised if he was convicted of the RICO charge. I think the other two charges that he was found guilty of. I think it was, I'm not saying minuscule, but I think it was a big situation just so they can ridicule him in the public eye. So much of like a public lynching. And it's just the way they take us down. And I'm not justifying his violence toward Cassie or Jane, who you all know who that really is, and whoever. I just feel that he did one thing to charge him with that and not try and throw the whole kitchen in with it.
And
Well,
Dre,
this is
what do you
Dr.
think about
Dre, and I'd like to retort on what you said. Um, it's weak to speak and blame somebody else when you destroy yourself. And the interesting thing about this case is whether it's a case or a non-case. I'll take it in from the public opinion to the legal opinion. In the public opinion, if you didn't make videos, if you didn't exploit it, if you didn't dramatize it and keep it for your own personal viewing, we wouldn't know about it. It would all be rumor,
Mhm.
conjecture, and lecture. But when you decided to do what you did, I'm not even talking about the Cassie beating in the hotel. Let's put that, 'cause that's something separate. The racketeering was all the other things that you did to get to this point. Now the prosecution couldn't prove racketeering, which I thought the case was on the living edge when it came to that. My issue
Mhm.
is, and I'll be honest, any man with any father with daughters, and if
Mhm.
you had to sit through that and you had to hear through that, as being again a part of his family and watching, and they all cheered, "Oh, this was great! Oh, he's innocent." And then the judge
Mhm.
said, "No, not quite. Your behavior keeps you incarcerated." I am
Mhm.
not here to judge someone on what his propensity and sexual behavior is. Not my place. There's a creator that takes care of that. So when you fell to your knees and started praying, maybe you should have been thinking about that while all those other things were going on. Because when this thing first broke, everybody in Hollywood, Florida, New York, globally were very concerned what was on those videos. So if there's no videos, there's no arrest. Now, all the other stuff that they may have him for, if you want to get high on your own supply and that's what you do, I don't see that being a crime because people did that since they came up with alcohol. People have been doing that since cocaine was legal and then illegal. They've been doing that since reefer madness. Whatever the case may be, adults make adult decisions. But the violent end of it, the bribing end of it, the trafficking end of it, those civil cases are going to really hurt him and hurt him bad. So again, it's weak to speak and blame somebody else when you destroy yourself. Simple as that. It
All
is
right.
simple as that.
We
I don't
have,
think it was a takedown. I think it was, I got caught. Oh my gosh, what do I do?
I call it a public lynching.
You can only be a public lynching if they don't have video. Because you put yourself out there to be lynched.
Yeah, but no, when I say a public lynching, if he was charged with the prostitution charges and those situations, then that's fine. But they knew the RICO charge was a bigger charge, a bigger sweeping charge. They could throw in a lot of things into it and keep him incarcerated and take some of his funds. So that's the public lynching.
Well, what funds
Yes,
did they take from him? The only funds I'm hearing being going after for him are the what do you call the cases? The federal cases
civil,
didn't take a dime
civil.
from him, except for him to
No,
hire lawyers.
yeah, but they took some other money from him.
What did they
As
take?
far
Put
as
it on
money,
tape.
money, money did they take? They found at his residence. So when you're in a RICO case, any cash can be confiscated by the government because it can be deemed as to fuel and fund your criminal organization. So whatever
Okay,
they found at his Homes location, all the finances there, and whatever other locations, they can keep that funds.
but they may have to return it, and we'll find that out during sentencing. We do not know that for sure because they didn't bring that up as here is the amount of money we acquired because they got when they take the money they got to put it down on paper. They can't just take the money and say, "Oh, we got it, goodbye."
Of
There's only one
course,
person that does that, and he's sitting in the White House as a
yeah, slump,
convicted felon.
well,
yeah,
I have a question.
uh huh,
Um, we've all, well, I want to say all, but there's been rumors, forever, um, about Diddy and his, behavior. There's been rumors about the parties. There've been rumors about the guy stuff, nude basketball and whatever. Dennis, you were in the Biggie movie where
yeah,
he portrayed D-Rock.
right.
Um, was Diddy around for any of that? And did you see any of the things that we've been hearing about forever? Because now during this trial, um, people are coming out. They saw this happen to Cassie. They saw this happen to this one. They saw this one get beat, but no one said anything until like now we're hearing about it. Did you see any of that kind of stuff
So,
when you were around?
so this is my issue. If I'm working in a capacity or any situation where I see a female being violated, I'm speaking up and doing things immediately. I'm not going to wait 5, 10, 15, 20 years later until something else happens and me piggyback off of it. I'm just not going to do that. I'm solid. I feel like I'm a solid person. For me, I've known Diddy way before I did Notorious. And I've never had any inkling or visuals of anything that was unsavory or uncool. He's never came at me crazy. He's never talked to me crazy. He's always showed me respect. I've been to his parties at his houses in LA and in New York. I've never been to his Miami crib, but I've been to those houses. I've had amazing party times, but there was nothing that ever was risque or crazy. Now, as opposed to, like when we did Notorious, he came to set and he was doing his Diddy thing. But I think Dre kind of spoke upon it a little bit. Everybody in the entertainment industry, if you have any foot in the game, you know about the rumors and the situation surrounding Diddy for years, way before this. Things that we've all heard about. Now, some people might have witnessed it. I never witnessed it, but I was a privy to the situations. So I made sure I never put myself in a situation to where I would see something. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see any of the debauchery. So a lot of times people put themselves in predicaments and now they're a witness or have to become a participant. That's the gamble you have in the entertainment field when you become too curious about things. So in my eyes, I've never seen anything. Did he do anything crazy? I'm not sticking up for him. I'm just being honest.
Okay. May I jump in?
Sure.
Okay. I've known Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Puffy, aka P Daddy, aka since the beginning. I was there when he was with Andre Harrell and what you call it records, Uptown
Uptown.
Records. Yeah, I was there when he was hanging with Russell. I can only speak from my beginnings to where the heights of what I've done. I've seen his behavior. I've seen his behavior after Notorious B.I.G. was killed. I know a lot of things about Mr. Combs from the beginning to where he went on to where he is today and what he did. I've been to many of those parties, and when things start to get out of hand, I turn on my heels and I leave. Because as you would say, I don't want to witness any of it, so I don't have to admit to any of it. And I'm not, again, I don't stand in judgment of what he did, does, or what he feels. That's not my critical question. If I have any critique in it, I say it as a father of a daughter. What cringes my soul is when we, as African American men, through all our debauchery in this nation, that we feel we have to go to that extent. And if that's his thing, and that's where you want to go, hey man, do it. I've been in parties at the Playboy Mansion, never seen anything of that nature. And I've done huge birthday parties with my partner, Uncle Luke, in Detroit, New York, Miami, LA. I can name tons of places. We never took it that far. Let me explain so it makes sense. A lot of what you're saying, why it took so long, because the laws changed and because the technology also changed. So when I went around and I videotaped a pool party in LA, I had a camera on my shoulder and a battery pack. It all changed. Once cell phones and audio and video took over, it became too easy to acquire that kind of evidence. Once again, not making an excuse for anyone, but you can't play victim when you volunteer.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That is the thing.
And that's the big thing. So when we say, oh, people popping out now with these accusations 15 years later, the laws have changed. We could speak about that with multiple different major players in the game. So time catches up to a lot of people. Accusations catch up to a lot of people. His biggest worry now are those civil suits because those videotapes are all evidence. People can bring up anything, and all I got to do is give a judge or a jury the propensity that you may have done that, and you're going to be writing checks for a long time.
joining us all the way from France. We have a fitness model, a trainer. She does a lot over there in France. Miss Natalie, how you doing, ma'am?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon. I think you have 6 hour. We are 6 hour ahead of you guys.
Well, I have a question um for the woman's point of view, right?
Hmm.
Um, my father was he's dead now, so I don't want to really, disrespect my father in public, but he was special, right? And there was a time one of my female friends asked me, why do I keep going back? Right? And that was a weird question to me because I'm like, well, that's to myself, I said, that's my father. Like,
All
of
right.
course I'm going back, right? No matter how bad the treatment was, that's home. From the woman's perspective, if you're dating somebody and they put their hands on you, I don't understand the mentality of going back. Can
Uh,
you can you speak to that at all as a woman?
I come from a very strong line of women. So to me, of course, and I'm African from my mother's side. We are from Cameroon. My father is French. Um, I am going to tell you, I have seen my cousin, the father of her kids, putting hand on her. And the treatment in my family is the family will get together and he will get beat, completely beaten. We will beat him up. That's like calling dirty clothes are pretty much like clean in family, right? But as to me, from the education I have had and received from my mother, I will never go back to a man that puts his hand on me, no matter my circumstance, even if I am not working, don't have money, because it's easy to say from my perspective, I am not in other women's shoes, so I don't exactly know. But to me, I will not stay. I will go. It is unforgettable. I cannot forget. I cannot continue to feel unsafe with a man and staying at home and being actually abused. It's a no-no. Even the emotional abuse, I know it takes time. I am not just saying, why? Why stay if you are mistreated this way? And also the men that are married, my ex-husband is American, his mother was abused and she stayed. So those are type of, I cannot really speak for herself. By the time women didn't have a lot of rights, so they were pretty much like forced to stay in a marriage, no matter the treatment they were received. But as the woman I am and always been under the education I have received, not even an emotional abuse, I am not staying. The day you slap me just on the face, or even I am gone. And there is no coming back from me. I will not come back. That's it. That will be it. But that's just me.
Okay.
May I jump in on that question, Mark?
Yes,
This is
sir.
Dr. Dre. I believe a lot of people stay, male and female, family, friends, or enemies, is because they become used to the behavior. And they feel that some of that behavior, some people feel, well, that person cares about me. So they flip it to make it work. And when they get the wounds and you get the visuals of it, it's the people that surround them that don't go, hey, what's going on? And I've had relatives, and I almost went to jail for one of my relatives whose relationship, the gentleman stepped over the line. And
Right.
he went one time too many. And I went to him and I was armed. And I said, I'll tell you what, since you like slapping people, slap me around. Slap me around. Let me see how that works out for you. Then all of a sudden he backs up. And come on, man, come on. No, come on, man. You slapping her around, and you can get away with slap me around. Whatever she did, take it out on me. Because you know I'm gonna hit you back. And I'm gonna hit you hard. Whether I win or lose, somebody's going down tonight. And when you get to that mental place, as the young lady just said about the mother, Sometimes it has to do with dollar signs. Sometimes it has to do with um, the reality of that's what they're used to. They call that love.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just don't know. So in sticking to the topic as far as with the Diddy situation, none of us will ever really, really know. That's between him and the others that participated with it. That's what I said. Sometimes people yell victim and they volunteer. And
Well,
you got to be careful with. That's what I said. The racketeering charge may have been an overreach, but the other behaviors, he videotaped that. I'm still trying to figure out what in your mind makes you feel, because what they were doing isn't brand new. He didn't just start that trend and he was the only one. We can go all the way back in time before there was videotape. There were books. I mean, this is consistent. This is what happens.
Well,
But
I agree with you 1,000%, Dre. Uh, I also feel that when it comes to the brutality, when it comes to the females, a lot of guys who are victimizers, they have a penchant of identifying women who are susceptible to those situations. And just speaking on Cassie, her being as young as she was, what she was like 19, 20, wide eyed, new in the industry, dealing with someone who's a mega star, that the situation was a gradual thing to where he had her hooked. And then to flip it on you, look, if you don't do what I will tell you to do, I'm going to show this video to your family and to everybody. Now they're blackmailed.
yeah,
They're in a certain situation where they have to coincide, and it's really sad to for the manipulation of that situation, and for him to how apropos is it for him to threaten to blackmail her by exposing the video, and it gets flipped and his video is exposed to the jury in the world. So it's really a situation where I I'm always have a soft spot for people who are victimized, who don't have a voice, who don't have a chance. And I feel this situation, I pray that it's an eye opener for Sean, for him, like, yo, let me change my ways. Let me approach things differently. Let me be a better person. And I hope that's the path that he gets to, because he needs that.
You're watching The Traffic Jam.